Hey, we are continuing our look at tracing the thread, looking for the gospel throughout the Bible in our Wednesday night series. And so we're in our section right now where we're talking about Joshua and Judges and Ruth. And so our verse today comes to us from Judges chapter 2, verses 8 through 10. It says this: "And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110 years. And they buried him within the boundaries of his inheritance in Timnath Ares, in the hill country of Ephraim, north of the mountain of Gash. And all that generation also gathered to their fathers. And there arose another generation after them who did not know the Lord or the work he had done for Israel." You know, if your high school team has a senior athlete who is the leader of that team, not long after the final game of the season, people may start talking about, man, how he or she is going to be missed. Some may even say that the team will just not be as good without that person when that person graduates. And it is true that there are some outstanding players who are also great leaders, that they actually are carrying the team sometimes during the season, and they can help them achieve way above what was expected. We kind of read that example here in the book of Judges. In chapter 2, verses 6 through 19, we see that Joshua was a great leader for the armies of the Hebrew people. He was a great strategist. One of his basic war strategies was to divide and conquer, and it's been used by military leaders for centuries now. But when he died, it didn't take long for God's people to revert to not trusting God anymore. They put too much trust in their human leader and not enough in their heavenly leader. And so that makes us think about today, and specifically I'll talk about our youth group. Is there somebody in our youth group that you really admire, that, man, they're a leader of our youth group? That's awesome. I want you to tell them about it. Go tell them, say, I really appreciate what you bring to the group. There may be an awkward conversation. I don't know how to make it less awkward, so just do it, right? But number two, we're coming up on May. We're coming up on graduation. We're going to have a class of seniors graduate. And one of our ceremonies we do in the high school is the passing of the torch. The high schoolers literally pass a candle, a flame, to someone in the group. And they're saying, basically, carry on in my stead. Whatever I brought to the table. I brought humor, I brought leadership, I brought honesty, I don't know. But carry on in my stead. So, is there someone who does that who's been leading you, who's been inspiring you in the youth group? I want you to, one, go talk to them. Tell them that. But two, it's time to start stepping up. Are you relying on the strength of someone in the youth group rather than relying more on God? Because when that person graduates, who's going to step up? Who's going to be that person? One, we rely on God for strength and courage, but there's also a role that you can play by taking that leadership role, using the gifts that God has given you to help lead our youth group into next fall. And if you're here multiple years, into multiple years of that, right? It's wonderful to have strong leaders around you, but God wants you to learn from these leaders, but not lean on these leaders, right? Your spiritual strength comes from a relationship with God. And so I want to ask you, have you ever thought that God might be calling you to be a leader in our youth group? Give that some thought. Because as we see in the Bible, you may think you're not worthy, but God can use anybody.